What's up, guys? Just want to make a quick follow-up video to the overheating video that I did because there were actually a couple people struggling with the same kind of thing, being supercharged and having intercoolers. So what I ended up doing, I had a bunch of aluminite material left over. I made this cool box first out of some cardboard. I traced it all out, and essentially this box fits right up in this area, and it's a nice duct heading straight towards the Voltex bumper opening. It should fit perfectly. I'll show you guys in a couple minutes with everything bolted up, but essentially I have these DevSport splitter mounts, and I had to come up with a nifty little thing with some slots here on the edges to get these to slide through. So I'm gonna hang these up kind of loosely, and the box should sort of fit around that. So lots of engineering going on here. Definitely a little bit over-engineered. And I made these little slots on the side to line up with my intercooler line so I can pass the box right through. But seals it up pretty well, and I think it'll do a pretty good job of getting some better airflow. The other thing I did was went to a 2¼ inch aftercooler, and it's a little bit smaller so it fits in between. And what I did was try to get this as close to the rest of the cooling stack as possible, so when the air hits it, it's not just dissipating as soon as it hits the intercooler. It's going right through the rest of the cooling stack. In addition, with covering up the sides, should do much better. And then I ended up spacing out this AC dryer a little bit, bent the lines forward, and made this little bracket that goes on the bumper like that, and should work pretty well. Pretty happy with that. The actual Science of Speed one, I think fits basically on the bumper even further up, but if you know anything about race car cooling, you want to get all of your cooling stack as compact as possible. If you look at my M4 right here, for example, you can see way in there inside the grill is the aftercooler, because it's air and water setup on these cars as well. So they did the same kind of design from the factory. Your intercooler, yeah, it looks cool when your intercooler is sticking right flush with the bumper, but it's absolutely terrible for cooling. So just like the concept for the fan shrouds on the back of your radiator, you actually want to have the same for this. You want a nice airtight seal, so all that high pressure air actually makes it to the radiator, because air is pretty lazy and it will take the path of least resistance. And the highest resistance is going through your cooling stack. So directing the airflow with this plating should result in forcing that high pressure air through the cooling stack. All right, so here's it all mounted to the car. You can see on the sides, the splitter mounts go right through, and they end up like this. And they're still all adjustable, so they can go up and down like that to meet the bottom of the bumper and support that still. And it's really nice and sealed off. The only gap is just around the splitter mount area, and the rest is sealed off. Put a tiny bit of duct tape over that slot in the back, but yeah, looking really good. And then to join all this aluminite together, I just got some aluminum stock and then just used rivets, and pretty dang strong, I would say. But yeah, all that air is gonna get forced to the cooling stack and we should be good. And I'm gonna try to mount the bumper next, and hopefully it still meets up with that. Did a bunch of measurements to make sure it does, but we'll see. Here's what the ducting looks like with the bumper on. I know the bumper's kind of a mess. I had to shave some of the fiberglass on the inside of the lip to get the box to fit in there, but fits pretty good on the sides. Makes a pretty good seal. I did use a little bit of black Gorilla Tape around the edges just to get a really nice airtight seal. But as you can see, these splitter mounts pass through the box and connect to my actual bumper underneath. And then everything feels really tight and secure because it's just, the bumper is mounted by like a million locations now. So should be pretty good, I would say. Definitely directing a lot more airflow directly to the cooling stack where I want it. I think eventually I'm gonna probably add some brake ducts, but I need to find someone to 3D print me those little triangle pieces for the Voltex bumper to go to the brakes. So if you guys know anybody, I think my buddy Nathan, I could probably hit up and see if he can find any files that will fit that. But yeah, I want to definitely make some brake ducts next, and definitely turning into more of like a track spec sort of almost race car, borderline race car, the way the ducting's built. I want to add a nice cold air intake box right here. And I think I actually might reuse this K&N one that I have, and I just need to make the hole a little bit bigger. But yeah, definitely want to get some more cold air directed to there. Doing a simple boost leak test next, and just kind of wrapping things up. I did put a piece of door seal or window trim seal on in between where the frame is and the actual radiators to get an even more airtight seal, but shouldn't have any more overheating issues anymore. All right, so I went for a little drive, and granted it's like 105 degrees outside right now, pretty spicy, but I am staying in the 190s for coolant temp. I'm even doing like really hard pulls. The only time it creeps up is at idle, obviously because the AC is on and the fans are not really keeping up, but that's pretty normal. And then IATs really only creep up when I'm just standing still and there's no airflow going through, but I'm usually about in like the lower 120s. Just really good temperatures overall, and I think this ducting did the trick. Let me just show you guys outside the final results. Yeah, looking really good. So if you guys are having overheating issues, just make some ducting and should solve your issues.